Imagine this. The economy has just collapsed. The world you know is gone. Money is worthless. Panic is spreading like wildfire. People are flooding the streets. Stores are being stripped bare in minutes. It's absolute chaos. It's not the expensive electronics, fancy cars. It's the simple, everyday items you probably have in your house right now. These are the things that will become more valuable than gold. The products that will literally cause fights in the aisles. We've seen glimpses of this before. In today's video, we're going to count down the 8 cheap, everyday items. Let's begin with number 1. The item that ignited chaos across continents. Toilet paper. In 2020, headlines screamed of empty shelves and desperate shoppers. But this story is bigger than a single year. From Australia to the UK, viral videos showed shoppers wrestling over the last pack. In Japan, people lined up at dawn, hoping for a single roll. In Venezuela, toilet paper became so scarce it was rationed by the government. News anchors reported brawls in the aisles. Social media exploded with memes, but behind the laughter was real fear. Families worried about basic hygiene, dignity, and comfort. In the US, some people drove hours, trading food or even gasoline for a few rolls. In Germany, black markets sprang up overnight, with toilet paper sold at 10 times its normal price. The panic wasn't new. During the oil crisis of the 1970s, Americans hoarded toilet paper after a single rumor. In World War II, rationing made every sheet precious. In Cuba, people improvised with newspaper and leaves. When shelves go bare, people get creative. Some use paper towels, napkins, or even old t-shirts. In India and parts of Africa, water and hand washing are the norm, reminding us that solutions vary by culture. But for many, nothing replaces the comfort of a soft roll. Psychologists say hoarding toilet paper is about control. When the world feels uncertain, we cling to what makes us feel safe. Imagine a mother standing in an empty aisle, clutching her last roll, wondering how she'll keep her family clean. For the elderly and disabled, the fear was even greater: how to maintain dignity when supplies run out. In interviews, people confessed to rationing squares, hiding rolls from roommates, and even bartering online. Some communities organized swaps, one roll for a can of beans or a bottle of sanitizer. In some places, toilet paper became currency, traded, hoarded, even stolen. Security guards were posted at store entrances. In Hong Kong, armed robbers targeted delivery trucks. In every crisis, hygiene becomes a matter of life and death. Without toilet paper, disease spreads faster. People improvise, but nothing replaces the real thing. Here's a fact. The average American uses 141 rolls per year. In a true collapse, every roll is survival. Stock up, plan ahead, and remember, sometimes the simplest things are the most valuable. Coming in at number 2 is something so fundamental, so essential, that life itself depends on it: water. Without it, survival is measured in days, not weeks. The human body is over 60% water. Lose just 2% and you feel thirsty. Lose 5% and you're dizzy, confused, and weak. At 10%, your organs begin to fail. Severe dehydration can kill in just 3 days. In a crisis, water supply chains are among the first to break. Trucks stop running, treatment plants lose power, and bottled water vanishes from shelves in hours. In cities and rural towns alike, people scramble for every last drop. We've seen it before. Hurricanes, earthquakes, and droughts have left entire cities desperate for a single clean sip. In disaster zones, relief workers hand out bottles as if they were gold. When the taps run dry, people are forced to search, sometimes for miles, just to find a bottle or a puddle. In rural areas, families dig shallow wells or collect rainwater. In cities, people line up at relief stations or improvise with buckets and tarps. But not all water is safe. Contaminated water can carry deadly diseases: cholera, dysentery, E. coli. In disaster zones, more people die from dirty water than from the disaster itself. A single mistake can be fatal. That's why bottled water becomes a lifeline. In a true collapse, a single bottle could be worth more than gold. People have traded food, medicine, even valuables for a few liters of clean water. Survival means knowing how to purify water. Boil it for at least 1 minute to kill most germs. Use water purification tablets, portable filters, or even improvised methods like solar disinfection. Every prepper should have these tools ready. If you can't find bottled water, collect rainwater or use a clean tarp to catch morning dew. In urban areas, drain pipes and rooftop puddles can be lifesavers, if you purify them first. In the wild, look for streams, but always treat the water. In a world where water is scarce, fights will break out, and desperation will drive people to extremes. Protect your supply and never take a clean drink for granted. In every crisis, those who planned ahead are the ones who survive. Remember, water is life. In a collapse, it is the most precious resource you can have. Store it, protect it, and learn how to find and purify it. Your survival depends on it. Number 3 on our list is the backbone of any survival pantry: canned food. Not just beans and soup, but vegetables, fruits, meats, fish, and even dairy. Canned food is more than a backup meal. It's a lifeline packed with calories, protein, vitamins, and essential nutrients. Canned goods can last for years, sometimes decades, without refrigeration. Their long shelf life means you can store them and forget them, knowing they'll be ready when you need them most. Look for expiration dates, but remember, most cans are safe well beyond the printed date if stored in a cool, dry place. In a blackout, when fridges fail and fresh food spoils, canned food becomes the only reliable source of nutrition. Beans, vegetables, fruits, soups, meats, and even canned cheese, each can is a meal waiting to happen. A balanced stockpile includes protein, fiber, and vitamins. Creativity is key. Survivors have made hearty stews, improvised casseroles, and even desserts from whatever cans they could find. Try mixing canned beans with tomatoes and spices for chili, or canned fruit with oats for a quick crumble. Rationing becomes an art, stretching every calorie to last just a little longer. In desperate times, canned food becomes currency. People have traded cans for medicine, batteries, or even a safe place to sleep. Bartering stories from real disasters show how a single can of meat or fruit can mean the difference between hunger and hope. Community kitchens often spring up, with neighbors pooling their cans to create meals for everyone. In these moments, canned food isn't just about survival, it's about coming together, sharing hope, and building resilience. The psychology of food security is powerful. Knowing you have a stash of canned goods brings comfort and hope. In tough times, a well-stocked pantry is a source of confidence and peace of mind. When building your canned food stockpile, aim for variety: proteins like beans, tuna, and chicken, vegetables and fruits for vitamins, soups and stews for complete meals. Rotate your stock, use what you store, and store what you use. So next time you see a can of beans or soup, remember, it's not just food, it's security, currency, and a symbol of resilience in the toughest times. Stock up, get creative, and know that every can is a step toward survival. At number 4, we have something that quietly powers our world: batteries. When the lights go out, batteries become the difference between darkness and hope. They keep flashlights shining, radios broadcasting, and life-saving medical devices running when everything else fails. Picture a citywide blackout. No power, no streetlights, no way to charge your phone. The only light comes from a battery-powered flashlight. The only news, from a battery-powered radio. For some, a single battery keeps a medical device running through the night, offering a lifeline to those who need it most. There are many types: AA, AAA, D, 9-volt, and specialty batteries for radios, lanterns, and medical gear. Each one becomes precious when the shelves are empty. In emergencies, batteries are more than convenience. They are safety, communication, and sometimes survival itself. But batteries don't last forever. They have a shelf life, and once they're drained, they're gone. That's why rechargeable batteries and solar chargers are game changers. With a solar charger and a stash of rechargeables, you can keep your lights on, radios working, and even help others, for a price. In a crisis, a charged battery is as good as currency. In past blackouts, people have traded batteries for food, water, and even shelter. The person with power, literal power, becomes a king in the dark. Imagine a diabetic relying on a glucose monitor, or someone needing a battery-powered medical device to survive the night. For them, a battery is life itself. Store batteries in a cool, dry place, and rotate your stock to keep them fresh. Keep a mix of disposable and rechargeable types, and don't forget specialty batteries for radios, lanterns, and medical devices. Infographics can help you track expiration dates and organize your supply. In the darkness of a collapsed world, the person with the power to see, communicate, and help others is the one who planned ahead. Batteries aren't just for gadgets, they're for survival. Stock up, stay charged, and be the light when others are lost in the dark. Number 5 is an item we use every day but rarely appreciate: soap. Its absence can turn a minor crisis into a deadly catastrophe. Throughout history, soap has been a silent hero in public health, saving countless lives from deadly outbreaks. In the 1800s, entire cities were rescued from cholera and typhoid simply by promoting hand washing. Posters and public campaigns urged people to wash their hands, and the results were dramatic. Disease rates plummeted. The science is simple. Soap destroys the outer layer of viruses and bacteria, breaking them apart and washing them away. It's the single most effective way to stop disease. In a crisis, when sanitation systems fail, diseases like dysentery, cholera, and staph infections can sweep through communities in days. In refugee camps and disaster zones, outbreaks often start with a lack of soap. In 2010, cholera spread rapidly in Haiti after the earthquake. Thousands died, many for want of basic hygiene. A simple bar of soap can mean the difference between life and death. After butchering an animal, tending a sick person, or using a makeshift latrine, you wash. If you run out of soap, you can improvise. Ashes, sand, or even vigorous scrubbing with water can help remove germs. But nothing beats real soap. Making soap isn't as hard as you think. With animal fat or vegetable oil, water, and lye, you can create basic soap at home. A skill that could save your life in a long-term crisis. In a collapsed world, a bar of soap is as vital as a weapon or first aid kit. It's lightweight, cheap, easy to store, and has huge crisis value. Soap becomes trade currency. In some disasters, people have traded soap for food, medicine, or even protection. But it's not just about physical health. Clean hands and a clean face can restore a sense of dignity and hope even in the darkest times. Small item, massive impact on community survival. In every crisis, the people who stay clean are the ones who stay alive. So next time you see a bar of soap, remember, it's not just for comfort, it's your first line of defense. Coming in at number 6 is one of humanity's oldest and most essential discoveries: fire. In a world turned upside down, the ability to create fire is the difference between life and death. But fire is more than just a flame, it's warmth, safety, and hope. Fire means warmth on a freezing night, a hot meal when you're hungry, and safe water when every drop could make you sick. It's also a beacon, a flickering light that lifts spirits and brings people together when darkness and fear close in. But starting a fire isn't always easy. Ask any survivor who's tried to spark a flame in the rain or wind. Matches and lighters become priceless. In survival stories, a single spark has meant the difference between life and death. There are many ways to start a fire. Matches and lighters are the most common, but in a true emergency, you might need to use a ferro rod, magnesium striker, or even a bow drill. Each tool has its own technique and challenges. The science of fire is simple but powerful. You need heat, fuel, and oxygen. Dry tinder, like cotton balls, bark, or even dryer lint, can make all the difference. Practice building a fire before you need it. In emergencies, people have traded food, water, even valuables for a working lighter. A single lighter or box of matches can mean the difference between a warm shelter and a night spent shivering. Fire purifies water, cooks food, signals for help, and keeps wild animals at bay. In survival stories, those who could make fire often outlasted those who couldn't. But fire is also dangerous. Always clear a safe area, keep water or dirt nearby, and never leave a flame unattended. A single spark can save you, or destroy everything. If you run out of matches or lighters, you'll need backup. Ferro rods, magnesium strikers, and bow drills take skill and practice. Don't wait until disaster strikes to learn. Even a magnifying glass or steel wool and a battery can work in a pinch. In a crisis, matches and lighters vanish from shelves in hours. People grab them by the handful, knowing their true value. Stockpile them, protect them from moisture, and always have more than you think you'll need. In the world after collapse, fire is life, and those who control it hold the power to survive. In every community, the person who can make fire becomes a leader, a provider, and sometimes a hero. So practice your fire-making skills, teach others, and always respect the power of a single spark. In the end, fire is more than survival. It's the light that keeps hope alive. Number 7 on our list is something you probably take for granted: over-the-counter medicine. Pain relievers, allergy pills, cold remedies, and first aid supplies are the backbone of everyday health, but in a crisis, they become priceless. Think about it. Ibuprofen and acetaminophen for pain and fever, antihistamines for allergies, anti-diarrhea tablets, antacids, cough syrup, and basic first aid creams. These simple remedies can mean the difference between a minor setback and a life-threatening emergency. In a crisis, these items become lifelines. A toothache, a fever, or a bad allergic reaction can turn deadly without the right medicine. Imagine a child with a high fever, or someone with a severe allergy, and no relief in sight. When supply chains break and pharmacies are stripped bare, the value of these medicines skyrockets. Suddenly a bottle of ibuprofen or a box of allergy pills is worth more than gold. People will barter, trade, and even fight for basic relief. Black markets for medicines spring up overnight. Desperate families search for antibiotics, painkillers, or even expired pills. In some places, people have traded food, valuables, or even their last supplies for a single dose of relief. When the shelves are empty, people turn to improvised remedies: herbal teas for fevers, honey for wounds, salt water for sore throats. Sometimes these work, sometimes they don't. The danger of running out is real. Even a small infection can become life-threatening. In every community, someone with a well-stocked first aid kit becomes the local medic. Stories spread of neighbors sharing their last allergy pill, or a parent improvising a splint with household items. First aid knowledge is as valuable as the supplies themselves. Infection control becomes a daily battle. Without antibiotics, even a small cut can become dangerous. Clean bandages, antiseptics, and basic hygiene supplies are priceless. In a true emergency, these simple items can save lives. So, how do you prepare? Build a home medicine kit with pain relievers, fever reducers, allergy meds, anti-diarrhea tablets, antiseptics, bandages, and a basic first aid manual. Rotate your supplies and check expiration dates regularly. The lesson? Don't underestimate the power of simple relief. Stock up now, learn basic first aid, and you might just save a life, maybe even your own. Our final item, number 8, is one of the most overlooked and undervalued tools in any survival scenario, the heavy-duty trash bag. But don't let its simplicity fool you. This humble item can be a true lifesaver. At first glance, they seem ordinary. But in a crisis, these bags become a lifeline. Versatile, strong, and incredibly useful. In disaster relief, survivors have used trash bags for everything from carrying supplies to protecting valuables from rain. Waste management is just the beginning. In a disaster, keeping your living space clean is critical for health. Contractor bags can safely contain trash, human waste, or contaminated materials, preventing the spread of disease. But their uses go far beyond that. With a little creativity, a trash bag can become an emergency poncho. Just cut a hole for your head and arms, and you have instant rain protection. In cold weather, fill them with leaves or clothes to create insulation or a makeshift mattress. Survivors in hurricanes and floods have used trash bags to stay dry and warm when nothing else was available. Need shelter? Stretch a few bags over a frame of branches, and you have a waterproof roof for a lean-to or tent. In real emergencies, people have built entire shelters from trash bags, staying dry through the night. In one famous case, a family stranded in the woods survived a storm by using trash bags as both shelter and sleeping bags. Trash bags can even collect rainwater for drinking or washing. Tie one to a tree branch, let it catch the rain, and you have a simple water collector. In survival stories, people have used this trick to stay hydrated when all other sources ran dry. Use them to line a bucket for a makeshift toilet, a huge leap in sanitation and disease prevention when plumbing fails. Or line your backpack to keep food and clothes dry, or use one to store and carry supplies. In real emergencies, people have used trash bags as makeshift stretchers, windbreakers, even flotation devices. Their uses are limited only by your imagination. In one flood, rescuers used trash bags to help children float to safety. Pro tip: always choose contractor-grade bags. They're thicker, more durable, and far less likely to tear when you need them most. Look for bags labeled heavy duty or contractor, and avoid the thin, cheap ones. Because they're so cheap and unassuming, most people will walk right past them during the initial rush. But the savvy survivors, the ones who think outside the box, will know their true value and quietly clear the shelves. In a survival situation, the most useful items are often the ones you'd least expect. Heavy-duty trash bags are proof that sometimes the simplest tools can make the biggest difference. Stock up now and you'll be ready for anything. So there you have it, the 8 everyday items that could mean the difference between chaos and survival. In uncertain times, it's not luck that keeps you safe, it's preparation, planning, and the support of those around you. Toilet paper, bottled water, canned food, batteries, soap, matches, basic medicine, and trash bags. These aren't glamorous, but they're the foundation of survival. Disasters don't wait for us to be ready. The time to act is before the sirens, before the shelves are empty. Start small. Pick up an extra case of water, a few more cans of food, or an extra pack of batteries each time you shop. Share your knowledge, your tips, and your experiences with others. When we prepare together, we are stronger together. What would you add to this list? Which item would you fight for first? Let us know in the comments below. Your advice could help someone else. And if you want more practical survival tips, real stories, and community support, make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications. Remember, the best time to prepare was yesterday. The second best time is right now. Stay safe, stay ready,